Hi Gemini, welcome to your August reading. My name is Linda. This reading is for Sun, Moon, or Ascendant Gemini, or if you're interested in what's going on with the person that you're dealing with and that person is a Gemini, then this reading could be for you as well. I've already shuffled the decks and put the spread down for you. What we have here is where you are now. This is the challenge you face, the resources you can use, the hidden forces, potential outcome, and then I'm going to pull one room to understand better what the spiritual lesson is in your current situation. Okay. Alright Gemini, it looks like at this time that you could be dealing with an event or a relationship that is closing out, and that might be a little bit challenging for you, but on the other hand, I really feel like it is what you want, and you know that it's time. You know that it's time to close out this particular relationship. I do feel like this is about a person. You have these two queens here in the reading. I feel like this Queen of Wands is actually you in this situation. And the Queen of Cups could be talking about a person that you've been dealing with. And for a lot of people here, I feel this is a family member or a friend. Someone who has been in your life for a while that you have actually been quite close to for a long time. And I feel like you're finally understanding that there's something unhealthy about the way that you relate with this person, and that it has been quite draining on your resources, physically, emotionally, mentally, and perhaps even for some of you it could have also been a financial drain as well with this person. So I do feel a bit of sadness in this reading, but I also feel some resolve from you. I feel your strength. You're coming up here as the Queen of Wands with the Knight of Wands, so it's a very strong energy. It's a very determined energy. It's very... I think in this moment, it's time for you to really acknowledge and clue into how important it is for you to be really true to yourself. And I think that might have been something that has been difficult for you to do, particularly in context to this person that we're talking about here. Because there's something about the energy here that feels like this person has kind of always maybe had a way of... How do I say that? It's like the way the energy flows between you is that this person has somehow always been able to have a kind of hold over you in certain ways. It's not outright emotional blackmail, but it's something like that. There's something about the way this person is able to communicate with you or share with you, that it's almost like a guilty feeling of how much you have felt like responsible for them, or how much you have felt like you've needed to provide to them or give to them or share with them. And I think now you're really coming into a specific energy in your own way that is now no longer able to tolerate that kind of manipulation. Let's call it like it is. Okay, Gemini. Now, keep in mind that this could also be in reverse. What I'm describing here is that, you know, it could very well be true that you're the one who's been doing the manipulation, and that the person that you're dealing with is now the one that's drawing a boundary. So be honest. If that's true, be honest about that, and use this as a moment to check yourself as far as how maybe you have been misusing emotional energy to try to manipulate someone into protecting you, or you know, forcing someone to be loyal to you even when you've been the one that's the toxic person. Real talk, Gemini. I'm just telling it like I'm seeing it here in the cards. This could definitely go both ways. So yeah, that's what I'm getting from this. The energy of this spread is that there's a friendship in this spread, or a relationship with a family member or a friend. I don't feel like this is romantic. I feel this is more like a friendship or a family member, where either you or the other person is now delineating a very clear boundary, where they are drawing a line and saying, you will not be able to manipulate me emotionally anymore. You will not be able to tax me. You will not be able to draw on my energy in the way that you have been. And this may be very non-verbal communication as well. It doesn't have to be an actual conversation that this person sits you down and has, but there will be a very vivid shift in the energy between you, and it will be something that you absolutely must acknowledge. And don't pretend, you know, you cannot pretend that you're not feeling this person's shift. You cannot pretend that you don't acknowledge that this person has created a new boundary that wasn't there before. You cannot not acknowledge that the person you are dealing with here is now showing new signs of a different kind of strength in their personality that wasn't there before. It's like this energy of resolve that's coming through. Again, whether it's you or the other person. I'm just going to look up the word resolve in the dictionary to get a really clear definition for you. Resolve. Settle or find a solution to a problem or contentious matter. Right? It's exactly what it is. When it comes to, it says here, with of a symbol or of a condition, is to heal or subside. Symptoms resolved, for example. What else? When it comes to, as a verb, it says to decide firmly on a course of action. So that's what I'm feeling here from either you or this person. There's this new level of resolve within you or within them to have the situation play out differently than it has in the past. There's a different course of action in front of you. There's a different way that you are representing yourself in the world that will then have a cause on that effect, meaning that because your energy has shifted, the way that the rest of the universe responds to you will be also different. And it's specifically this individual that you're dealing with. I'm seeing these two as people who are dealing with each other. Now, we haven't really talked about the star. I've been kind of on all these four cards here has been what I've covered. Like, there's you with this new emotional strength, with a new kind of determination. There's a person you've been dealing with who maybe has been emotionally manipulative. You're drawing new boundaries, clear boundaries, and there's an end to a way that these people have been relating with each other. Now, the star in the reading here is showing up in reverse. I feel like there's that with this energy here, I kind of feel like you might feel a little bit sad in a way about how this is unfolding here, because perhaps you're sad to lose the friendship, maybe. But or if it is in the reverse here, and you are the one who's the emotionally manipulative person, and this other individual is the one who's creating new clear boundaries, it could definitely bring you to this space where you feel a little bit pessimistic, or you lose energy somehow because you realize that source that you've been tapping into is not there for you anymore. You know, you don't have that resource on tap anymore in the way that you used to. But more importantly, the star here is talking about healing. So for both of these individuals, there's possibility, there's options, there's potential for healing, because there is the possibility for individuals to realize how they have been not in alignment with their true, authentic self. Whether that's you as the person who is allowing someone to cross your boundaries, or whether it's the person who is the one crossing the boundaries. Either way, there's an imbalance there, right? Whichever one you are in that scenario, there's an imbalance there. So the star is bringing in an energy of healing. It's bringing in an energy of realizing that there has been a misalignment, and this is a moment to get everything that with regards to that particular issue in check, and to have understanding, to have growth, to have purification, to have clearance of those kinds of that specific frequency of what that misalignment represents, and how it may have been playing into multiple relationships in your life, not just this one. And so it's offering the potential here to create more harmonious, more balanced, more equanimous relationships, because you shift out of that mentality of either taking too much or giving too much. Now let's take a look at this rune. The rune here is going to give us a little more insight into the spiritual lesson here. Okay, this rune is called Berkano. And let me give you a close look at that. There we go. Now this rune is talking about fertility and birth. It represents birch, the tree, the birch tree. It says here, I'm reading from my notes, birth, general fertility, both mental and physical growth, liberation, regenerative power, the light of spring, renewal, promise of new beginnings, new growth, arousal of desire, a love affair or new birth, prospering of an enterprise or of a venture. Now, the way I'm going to read that in the context of this reading, this spread here, is that there is something being regenerated here. There's new energy being released because there's a kind of unhealthy or toxic dynamic with someone that's getting closed out or recalibrated, so that provides an energy of new beginnings, of new growth, because there is like a liberation there. Growth is what's being offered here. You know, when you realize that you've been in an unhealthy relationship for a while and you finally acknowledge that you're going to reclaim your power and create a new boundary, so that other people can acknowledge and see that you have grown and that you are changed and that you have evolved, it becomes impossible for other people to acknowledge that and respond to it if you are in this more upright position of being clear and unwavering in your resolve to have things be different than how they've been before. All right, that's really important. It's one thing to have a realization that you've been in an unhealthy dynamic with someone, but unless you actually make it evident through a shift in your boundary by your energy feeling different, or whether that's by outright communicating something, but then you've got to follow through as well on your behavior. Like if someone's taking advantage of you and you're clear with them and you say, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to do that for you, but then they just keep nagging at you and you give in because you want them to shut up, or you don't want to you can't deal with them pressuring you or just like overly communicating with you, and you just do what they want anyway, then there is no shift, right? You've got to stick to your guns. You've got to follow through on the new boundaries that you are communicating and maintain them through your energy, through your actions, and through your words. Okay. I do also feel with this rune coming into the reading, it has come up in the upright position here in your spread, but I'm going to read to you what it says for the reversed interpretation of it, because I feel like it's actually more of what is being expressed through the cards. It says family problems, domestic troubles, anxiety about someone close to you, carelessness, abandon, loss of control, blurring of consciousness, deceit, sterility, and stagnation. So that's what I feel like this person that you have been dealing with has been able to kind of continue perpetuating in your life. Is like, I do feel like this is a family member for a lot of people watching. It could be a close friend for others, but I do feel like this is a sibling for most people, or like someone that you relate to in that way, a sibling-like relationship. So that person has been able to kind of, as I said, continue to cross your boundaries, to ask too much of you, to maybe even emotionally manipulate you, to tax your energy in whatever way they do it, because they haven't been emotionally balanced in themselves. So they've been relying more on you than on themselves, and they haven't been taking responsibility for their own life. And I'll say it again, this could easily be in the reverse position. It could just as well be you, the one in the reading who has been the emotionally manipulative person, who has been taking more than they've been giving, who's been crossing people's boundaries, and who's been demanding and expecting more of others than is fair or reasonable. So take it as you will. Find yourself in the right place in this reading, and utilize the energy of this message to course correct, or to come back into balance and to find the healing that you need. Alright Gemini, that's it for your August reading. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.